Okay, so we're going to be looking at the sum function, and I've created this worksheet as before with everything else, and I've put all these boxes in. And the sum function is one of the most common used functions, and actually I would say incorrectly used functions. It's poorly used. People often come across the sum function as their first function and think that's the only function that's in there. Now, it's really important to remember that it is not the only function. If we go to formulas, insert function, we can see if I choose all, I've already shown you, there are hundreds of functions. Now, if I go all the way down towards the S and I look for the sum function, there it is. It's one of many functions, including one of many sum functions. So it's a function. It's a really useful function, but people overuse it. Let's look at the scenario where I might want to use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put in here equals, and I'm going to add this cell to this cell. Now that's really easy. There's no need to do anything else. There's no sum function. There's no function there at all. This is a formula. There is simply no point in using anything else. When I get to here and I do equals that plus that plus that, I'd argue that there really isn't any need to do anything else but that. And that's as simple as it is. When I get to here, I can see that if I'm doing that there, that plus that plus that plus, now it's getting laborious and it's a bit boring. And as I said before, computer science is all about doing everything as simple and as lazy as possible. So I would certainly start to think here, and by the 5th and 6th definitely. By the 3rd, probably not. I might have used it, definitely would never use it for just two variables. There's no point. So what does a sum function do? Well, it's the mathematical result of adding all the numbers together. The sum product of adding everything together. So I shouldn't use the word product. The sum of adding all the products together, all the values together. See, I keep using the word product just to throw you. So how do I use it? Let's get on to that part. Equals sum, open brackets, all those. And I've just selected the range, close brackets, enter. And it's that simple. It allows me to simply say equals sum, all of those, and it will just do the addition for me. By the way, I can click on there, I can do Control-C on my keyboard, paste it into there, click there, and then just extend the range. I can't if I click incorrectly, but that's all right. Click on the bottom, drag it a bit further, press enter, and it's now included that. So I could do that, and I could do that for the last one. So straight to there and take the sum, click in the range, and then simply take the box. Really wish I had done that correctly. So take the bottom of that box, take it to there, take it to there, and there we have it. The sum total has taken into consideration all of those. You might have noticed, by the way, that there was a little green boundary. Let's just see what that green boundary tells us. If I click into there, you can see there's a little green box and a warning. If I click on there, it says formula omits adjacent cells. It knows I'm missing out numbers. So I can just click on there, and now it's including everything. I didn't tell it to. Honestly, it did that. Let's just confirm that. Sorry, I clicked wrong while I was in the formula. Let's go to this one. So this one is looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers. So I'm now going to paste it into there. There's the warning. It's looking at 6 numbers. If we look W8 to AB8, so W is there. So it's actually looking all the way past where it should be. So it's looking over here, and it shouldn't be. But we can alter that by simply saying update to include, and now it's doing all of them. Yes, it's going one too far, and I might want to tidy that up, but that's fine. But now it's taking them all in, and that's really useful. So that's how the system works. That's how sum works. Going right back to the initial one, copy, paste, there's the warning, update, done. So the sum function takes all the values from the first to the last in that range and adds them all together. In this case, we get 43 because that's 7 plus 3 plus 10 plus 7 plus 1 plus 2 plus 6 plus 7. All it's doing is adding them all together. It's coming up with the sum of those values. And that's it. That's the sum function. Use it when you're going to use more than 2 add signs. If you're going to do more, adding more than two or three cells together, use the sum function, but don't use it for something like that. And certainly don't just use it willy-nilly. It's purely there to add a range of cells together. Okay, in the next lesson, we're going to be looking at something called named ranges. See you there. So we're going to be looking at named ranges. And that's all to do with this box up here, this name box. And we remember with this that it shows us the name of the active cell. And if we select a range of cells, it tells us how large that range of cells is for R by 4C, 4 rows by 4 columns. And when I let go, it again tells us the active cell. And if I press enter, the active cell changes within that range. That's really useful, and quite a lot of the time you've already seen in all the lessons we've been doing, all I've been doing when we've used ranges is just simply by saying equals, let's say, the sum of all of those, close brackets, and that works really nicely. So I can do that, and there's a range. That's not a named range, that's just a range from the first cell to the last cell, and it knows what to do with that. But what I could do is I can take a range of cells and I can say, well, actually, what I want to do with that range of cells is I want to refer to it as something else. So what I'm going to I'm going to click in here, and rather than use it as information, I'm now going to type something in. So let's put this as sum underscore 1. What's really important is you can't use spaces. So you can use letters, numbers, and an underscore is useful because it can represent a space. So I've now called that range sum underscore 1. And if I press enter, because it's selected, it shows me that this one is called sum underscore 1. It's now no longer telling me what the active cell is, it's telling me what the range is called. How does that help me? Well, I'm going to go here, I'm going to press equals sum, open brackets, and then what I can do is I could select this range, and it's going to tell me, oh, it's sum underscore 1. Because I used the name, I can actually start typing it. And you can see it in the list of functions. There it is. So I can double click on it, close, and that's it. So I can use that to arrive at the same result I would do if I just used the range, but now I've got a nice little name and it looks a bit neater. But is it worth the hassle? Well, let's look at this example. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to sum up each row. So I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way, sum, open brackets, and I'm going to sum up all of those. That's what I want to do. And what I want to do is do exactly the same thing in every other cell. I know that doesn't seem sensible. It makes more sense when we look at something later on. But I'm simply going to pull that down. But the number's not staying as 194. Why not? Well, it's relative addressing again. I brought this down 1, so it's brought all of the range down by 1. When I get down to here, it's all down there, so it's only summing up that one there. Well, that's really annoying. I wanted to refer to that, so what I'm now going to have to do is go into there and make these absolutes. But actually, another way around that is to select this, call it sum underscore 2, go back into here, equals sum underscore 2. By the way, the name doesn't matter. I could have called it a rhinoceros, a gazelle number 4, or whatever else I wanted. I used sum underscore 2 because I knew I wanted to sum these values up. But the name is up to you. You can't use a reserved word, so you can't call it if, you can't call it countif, because those are reserved words. Those are words that the system understands as functions. So sticking a number after it often helps. So we've got sum_2. If I now use the autofill and pull that downwards, they all stay the same. They all stay the same because that's what we're looking for. Now, that might not be incredibly useful, but okay, let's use this. Let's now fill these in. I'm now going to put numbers here. So I'm going to put 2, and then I'm overwriting what I put in there. 9, and let's put 7, let's put 1, and let's put, I don't know, let's put 10. Okay, so what I'm now going to do is I'm going to put in here equals count if open brackets. I'm going to select the range, and notice Excel has already put the range name in there. And what that means is I'm then going to tell it just to look at this. You can just about see the ants going around the box there. I'll use the arrow keys to get there. That's my X2. So I use the arrow keys on my keyboard to nudge across. And that works. There are 3 2s in that grid. You can find them if you want. The nice thing is, because I've used a named range, when I pull this downwards, it works. Every single one of these values is correct. There are 2 9s. If I look, I can click on there and it hasn't done relative addressing there, but it has there. I haven't had to worry about relative addressing, haven't had to worry about the dollar marks. I've used name ranges to help. And I've known people who stick to name ranges because they just resolve the absolutes and the relative addressing. And I know other people who just use them sparingly. I'm probably in that latter group, but there's no wrong thing here. You do what feels best for you. That's named ranges. So that's not bad to do. We've gone through quite a lot there. So let's revisit our battleships and start to use some of that new knowledge to help develop that game. See you there.